Well, hello everyone! Welcome back to Dual Destinies. Previously, we began the game's fourth case, and it's a murder mystery at a rocket launch. Two astronauts walk into a rocket, only one comes out. Or at least that's what it seemed like, because, as we were able to point out, hey no, we're pretty sure that this person lived long enough to walk out and enter the lobby of the building again. How'd he end up dying? So now we have our defendant, what the hell is it? What's his name? Solomon Starbuck, that's right. Great name. Yeah, he's taken the stand, and hopefully we can learn a bit more about him, because what I've seen so far, he kind of feels like a bargain bin Larry Butts at this point. And I can't believe they're going for like this plot where the victim here, Clay Terran, is apparently Apollo Justice's best friend. How tragic. Anyhow.
Witness, your name and occupation, please.
Solomon Starbuck, astronaut. How did this happen?
Mr. Starbuck, you aren't looking very well. Will you be able to give testimony?
No.
Well, unfortunately, no is not an option. You are being accused of the Space Center bombing and the murder of Clay Terran. Please testify to these allegations.
Mind if I take the suit off? It's getting really heavy.
Silence!
It's not the weight of the suit that you feel, but of your sins. Prepare to carry that weight for the rest of your life. Also, we didn't want to pay the artist to draw a new costume for you.
Banish me to the moon. I don't care anymore. Oh hey, he can meet up with Mega Man. That'd be nice. I know this game's made by Capcom, but I've never forgiven Capcom for leaving Mega Man stranded on the moon. I'm still so sad about that. Mega Man Legends 3, when? When? Well, that was super negative. Is he going to be alright up there? He'll be fine, I think. As long as he doesn't totally give up and say he did it, that is. Also, yeah, I swapped the costume back. I still wonder what's up with that eye. I can't believe it has nothing to do with the bombing. Huh. All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out of that rocket. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. You took the elevator? Was that a wise thing to do when it was in the proximity of an explosion? Clay had passed out by the time we got the order to evacuate. I didn't kill Clay. I was trying to save him.
So you assert you didn't set off the bombs or murder the victim?
But I bet you think I'm lying, right?
I reserve all judgment until after I've heard your full testimony.
I'm sure you don't believe me. I bet you don't even believe I'm an astronaut. I don't think the judge doubts that. Who'd wear a suit like that except an astronaut?
I will say that when I saw you in that movie, you appeared quite courageous, though I suppose reality never quite lives up to fantasy.
You know, I'm pretty sure it's an actor playing him. Also, the hair is completely different. I guess I'm just a big disappointment. I really don't care what happens anymore. Oh no, he's completely given up. Huh? Who was that? Why was that sigh with a... The speaker of that sigh there was question marks. Was that not Starbuck?
What a depressing fellow. If you were to join me in the clink, I imagine that annoying sighing of yours would rub off on the other inmates.
Like how it rubbed off on Prosecutor Blackquill a second ago? Oh, was that him? Huh? That was Blackquill sighing? There we go. Mr. Starbuck's testimony contains a glaring contradiction. The question is, what does it mean? Even if Mr. Starbuck is my client, I can't be gun-shy now. It's time to find out the truth. Oh, wasn't there something about a power outage? Maybe that would have rendered the elevator travel impossible. A fire on the second floor of the main building, the middle level of the launch pad near the elevator. There's a fire. If there's one thing I know about elevators, is that you do not use an elevator in case of fire. Huh, yeah, okay. But let's press everything as always. All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out of the rocket.
Hold it!
So what you're saying is that the victim was still alive at that time? Of course. He was alive and well.
Silence!
If so, then you admit you took a man who was alive and well and silenced him permanently with this.
What? No! Black hole confirmed dead ahead. Ah! It's no good, Captain. I'm getting sucked in.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, you are not in space. Please give your testimony seriously. It was just nerves, but maybe I shouldn't have said he was alive and well. It was more like he was slumped over. Those are complete opposite ends of the spectrum. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor.
Hold it!
Is that the elevator inside the launch pad area? That's right. We always use it to get to and from the cockpit. That makes sense. So he was just using the route he always used. In spite of the fact that there had just been an explosion. Huh? I think Mr. Starbuck is hiding something. Something pretty big. Clay had passed out by the time we got the order to evacuate.
Hold it!
Passed out? Why was he passed out? Probably because of the explosion. The noise and vibration were incredible. It's little wonder a person would pass out, right? I guess. Not that I'd know. Ha! Knock on wood. Oh, I've been hit by space debris. The main engine's on fire. It's gonna blow. Wah! Ground control to Major Tom? Yes, I see. I guess it does make sense that someone would pass out. Especially if the person in question is Mr. Starbuck. Anyway. I didn't kill Clay. I was trying to save him.
Hold it!
Don't worry, I understand. I'll make sure everything turns out all right. But everyone's glaring at me like I did it. Apollo, you have to reassure him better than that. And how am I supposed to do that? Try to imagine how he's feeling and use that to figure out how to boost his confidence. Mr. Starbuck, think back to what Clay used to always say. It's times like these when he would repeat, "I'm fine," to himself. Aww. Oh, that's sad. I'm fine. Yeah, I guess he did say that a lot. But even if I shout it, Clay will still be dead. What's the use? Could somebody please reassure me now? Apollo, there's something strange about Mr. Starbuck's testimony. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. There's a glaring contradiction. I just wonder why it's there and what it means for our case. Well, it doesn't look like he's lying, at least. Guess I'll have to show some evidence. Alright. You took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. There was a fire.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, I need your testimony to be as accurate as possible. Was I not being accurate? No, because it's impossible for you to have taken the elevator down to the middle level.
What makes you say that, Mr. Justice?
Please recall where the bomb went off in Launchpad 1. Also recall that after the explosion, the middle level elevator was engulfed in flames.
Oh, you're right. Which means...
Exactly. The Launchpad's elevator would have been unusable. In other words... Mr. Starbuck, your statement is decidedly inconsistent with the facts. What's with the helmet? Mission Command! Mission Command, do you read me? Come in, please.
Objection!
This is Mission Command. I order you to pay attention. Stop this nonsense and answer my questions, Mr. Starbuck. My helmet! My oxygen tank! Oxygen concentration and body temperature declining. Requesting medical assistance. Yuck! Wow. What a drama queen.
Mr. Starbuck, we are not in space right now.
Technically... maybe...
Please stop pretending you have lost consciousness and stand back up.
I apologize, Your Honor. I forgot I was still on Earth. I feel like we all just got a real glimpse of Solomon Starbuck, the astronaut. Yeah, he seemed more like an astronaut now than when he was doing all that sighing. Mr. Starbuck, could you please explain the inconsistency in your statement? About how you used the middle level elevator? I, was nervous, and I said the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I actually, took a different route, I think. A different route?
I hope you're able to deliver a straight story this time.
I'll get it right this time. Maybe. No, I mean probably.
Probably.
It's understandable to be nervous, but let me remind you accuracy is paramount in court.
My escape route. This will be good. Let's see, my escape route. What I said before was a mistake. I remember now. I took a different route. Probably... With the capsule and Clay in my arms, I made my way down from the upper level. You climbed down a ladder? So you're saying you escaped without using the elevator? That's right. There's a ladder that spans the upper and middle levels. I used that ladder to get to the middle level. Luckily, the fire hadn't reached the ladder, so we could make our escape that way. And the capsule you mentioned, I suppose you mean the thing next to Mr. Terran here. Was the capsule that important that you'd risk your life to take it with you? It almost goes without saying, but yeah, that capsule contains asteroid samples. Therefore, it's invaluable as research material. With the spacesuit on, Clay weighed a ton, but securing the capsule was also important. I need you to answer to the best of your ability. Mr. Starbuck, please remember that your verdict is riding on your testimony. Maybe I am guilty after all. I wonder if you can see the stars in prison. Bet it's more comfortable than a spaceship. Let's see, my escape route, what I said before was a mistake.
Hold it!
How could you mistake such a basic fact? Hey, everybody makes mistakes, but try thinking about the vastness of space instead. From Earth, it takes 4 light years to travel to our nearest neighboring star. So, you see, compared to the vast expanse of space, human error is insignificant. I wish he'd consider it just a little more significant than 0.
Enough jabbering. Get on with your testimony.
I remember now. I took a different route. Maybe. Probably.
Hold it!
Maybe. Probably? Did I hear you right, Mr. Starbuck? I didn't say either of those things. Mission Control, come in, please. An error has occurred in the sound system. Activate the emergency tin can telephone. Oh no! Tin can telephones are ineffective in the vacuum of space.
Silence!
Stop this nonsense or I will sever you and your tin can telephone.
Alright, I'm begging you. I'll tell the truth. Just don't sever anything. Apollo? Is he going to be alright? I'm starting to think he's not. Let's see. So about when we were running away. With the capsule and Clay in my arms, I made my way down from the upper level.
Hold it!
The upper level of the launch pad area. That's right. That's what I said, isn't it? Granted, that route does exist. So, to recap, you had Clay over your right shoulder and the capsule in your left hand. Yeah, it's really important, so I couldn't let it get burned up. So even though Clay was really heavy, I couldn't afford to carry him with both hands. I did the best I could with him over one shoulder and the capsule in my other hand. I don't think the meaning of what he just said has hit him yet.
You know what you have to do with that statement, Justice Dono.
Yes, I know. Well, I've come this far. No turning back now. It's time to present some evidence. So Mr. Starbuck escaped with Clay and the capsule, which means... it's just like in the footage. I can see why he couldn't run, though. He must have weighed over 200 pounds just by himself. Yeah, and he had to support Clay, who was another 200 pounds. Plus, he had to ensure the safety of that capsule. I don't think I could have even walked under those circumstances. Walking straight forward is probably about all I would have been able to manage. Alright. You made your way down from the upper level with 2 hands occupied and over 200 pounds of weight on you. So, how did you deal with the latter?
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, why don't you just tell the truth? The truth? Let's see, the Earth is blue. No, that's not right. So, I guess the Earth isn't blue. Yeah, that's it. I'm starting to wonder if he's actually an astronaut. The truth, Mr. Starbuck. God, the oxygen concentration is super low in this area. Prepare the emergency oxygen tanks!
Mr. Justice, the witness appears confused. Please help draw out the truth from him.
Mr. Starbuck, under the circumstances at the time, you couldn't possibly have reached the boarding lounge via the upper-level route. Huh? Not as long as this was along the escape route.
Take that!
To get down from the upper level to the middle level where the Launchpad 1 corridor is, you would have to go down the ladder. Isn't that right, Mr. Starbuck? Of course, that was the only way we could escape.
Objection!
But how would that work? At the time, you were supporting Mr. Terran over your shoulder, were you not? And remember, he was in full space gear as well, putting him at over 200 pounds. Oh. Well, it's easy on the moon. Gravity is only 1/6 of what it is on Earth.
Objection!
But the Space Center is located on Earth. Short of being an octopus, climbing a ladder with an adult male in space gear in one arm, while carrying the capsule in your other, is impossible, wouldn't you say? Oh. So, Mr. Starbuck, how exactly did you climb down that ladder with your arms full? Mr. Starbuck, come clean and tell us the truth, now! Man, Apollo's on the warpath. Engineer! Where's that engineer? Oxygen leak detected due to faulty maintenance. Oh. What? He's flying the coop. Help! I've caught on the ceiling. Help? Anyone? How?
Bailiff, prepare the cherry picker. We must launch our rescue mission at once.
Well, that's one way to take off while being questioned. I'd rather prove his innocence so he can go to space again someday for real.
Now then, Mr. Starbuck, do you think you can keep your feet planted on the ground?
Yes, I apologize for losing control. Are you ready to tell us the truth? Not that. Anything but that. What is going on? This isn't the Mr. Starbuck I know.
It appears Spaceboy is prone to deception. Witness.
Yikes! Yes?
I thought your story odd, but perhaps the inconsistencies can be explained as the result of a medical side effect.
What? Prosecutor Blackwell, please don't talk about that. What are you talking about, Prosecutor Blackwell?
Didn't I already state that Spaceboy is ironically terrified of going into space? That's why he took some precautions just before the launch. For you see, traces of this anti-anxiety drug were found in his system.
Oh, I sense things are about to nosedive. You got it all wrong. I told him during the investigation, too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took any medication, I swear. It was found in his system, but he doesn't remember taking it. How could that be? Somebody must have slipped them to me. But I guess maybe that's why I don't remember. Because of the side effects? Yeah, that's why I don't remember much about what really happened. What?
Order! Order in the court!
We can't get any useful testimony out of him if he doesn't remember anything. Well, this certainly explains why his testimony kept changing. Why didn't he just tell me he couldn't remember? I guess he didn't want anybody to find out he was terrified of going into space. Maybe I really did do it?
Which brings us to the answer of our original question, of how the witness climbed down the ladder with a dead body.
It does? So what is it?
A dead man feels no pain and makes no complaints, Justice Dono. So the body was simply dropped down from the top of the ladder.
Now, hold on. Okay, there's no scale, but... Well, yeah, I guess that would be a 2-story drop. That would show up in the autopsy report. There's no mention of any trauma from falling.
Oh my, I see. And then the defendant could climb down with his free hand.
Objection!
Drop the body down. Who would do such a disrespectful thing? Besides, dropping the body down would leave marks on the body itself, yes. Wait, oh no! If Apollo's bringing it up right now, then Blackwell's gonna have a counter, isn't he?
So you are capable of quick thinking. Yes, you are correct.
Huh? Really? Thanks. Ah! Huh? What's this?
It's the oxygen tank from the victim's spacesuit. It's ruptured, and I'm sure you can figure out why.
You can't be implying it ruptured when the defendant dropped the victim's body.
I am, for they fracture easily when struck.
Objection!
Even if that's true, the tank's explosion and shrapnel would leave its mark on the body. Yet, according to the autopsy report, only the knife wound was found on the victim's body. You're clearly grasping at straws with this line of reasoning.
Silence!
A spacesuit isn't heavy for the sake of being heavy, Justice Dono. It includes the latest technological devices and is made of the fabric of tomorrow. This fabric is made to protect astronauts from the dangers of space. So falling a few Earth yards would hardly leave a mark on the wearer.
Objection!
Then shouldn't it be impossible to stab someone through it as well?
It should, and yet through sheer coincidence, the knife slipped through a weak spot in the suit's structure and found its way to its target.
What are the chances?
You forget that our killer is an astronaut himself with knowledge of how the suits work.
He's got me there.
And now my argument has been proven. Spaceboy killed the victim in the rocket and then dropped his body from the upper level. After climbing down, he shouldered the body and made sure the camera recorded them. There's no room for debate about these facts. It is clear that Solomon Starbuck is the only one who could have killed Clay Terran.
Yeah!
Here, the report regarding the astronauts' oxygen tanks. Consider it my send-off gift. Feel free to use it as payment to cross the river Styx.
God, he's such a fucking edgelord. And you know he brought up the river Styx because of, you know, the Greek theme and all that. Alright, let's read it for ourselves. Okay. The victim's tank was ruptured with 0% left. That makes sense. The defendant's had 80%. Remaining oxygen is displayed on the left shoulder. Oh, so, alright, so that's what that number meant. Which means this photo... that says 50%. That's not 8, that's 5. 50% lost oxygen. What the hell? Hey, this report is pretty detailed. Yep. Let's see. The display on the astronaut's left shoulder shows the oxygen remaining. I guess that means these glowing cyan digits represent the amount of oxygen in the tank. I'm done for. I'm going to prison instead of space.
Space boy.
Yes?
Take heart. The bejeweled night sky is still beautiful even when viewed through bars.
You mean the stars as seen from prison?
That's right. Your cell will be your spaceship. Picture the view through the iron bars. It's like being an astronaut in your own craft for all time.
That's not a half-bad thought. Mr. Starbuck? Prosecutor Blackpool got to him good. The spaceship prison cell, fly me, my guilt, and my despair into the deepest, darkest space. And then, let's get sucked into a black hole together.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, you can't give up hope. Oh, yes, Apollo? You know, Clay really looked up to you. He said you were an incredible man. He said you'd never give up on your dreams and passion for space, no matter the situation. He said that? So don't give up now and help me prove your innocence. For the sake of the man who respected you and believed in you, Clay Terran. For Clay.
You're wasting your breath.
Rah! Rah! Grah! Did we finally break through? Apollo, thank you. I can see things clearly now. Mr. Starbuck. I'm fine now. Thanks for reminding me of my life's mission. Right. We'll both be fine. I'll prove you're innocent, you'll see. And after that, we'll get you back into space. Rah! You've ignited the booster rockets of my soul! I'm on fire! I am Solomon Starbuck, astronaut, a cosmic hero chosen by the universe itself. This is no time to be whimpering and crying. I can't let you and Clay down.
Balderdash.
The sun, the moon, all of space is calling me, Solomon Soul Starbuck. Ready for launch. Begin the countdown. 5, 4, 3,
2.
1. Lift off. That's incredible.
Oh, well, I feel like I've witnessed an actual rocket launch.
Apollo, you did it! You broke Prosecutor Blackpool's grip over Mr. Starbuck. I can't take the credit. It was all Mr. Starbuck. He pulled himself through.
If you simpletons are done massaging one another's egos, no matter how positive your mood, my advantage remains unshakable. I have but to wait for the final guilty verdict. Isn't that right, Your Baldness?
Ugh. Can't let up now. I have to stop Blackquill. I have to see this through. Mr. Starbuck just has to make it back into space. I won't allow Clay's dream to remain unfulfilled. That art was nice. I've got to destroy Blackquill's argument somehow. Think, Justice, think. If the only people at Launchpad 1 were Clay and Mr. Starbuck, and if Clay was already dead by the time this footage was taken, then the only person who could have killed him is Mr. Starbuck. So the only way to counter Blackquill's argument is I can prove that Clay was still alive when they arrived at the boarding lounge. In which case, I should be able to find some contradiction in the evidence itself. Now let's see about this data that we just received. This supposedly proves that Mr. Starbuck dropped Clay's body in Launchpad 1. But if I'm going to prove that false, then there must be something I can use here.
Enough of this farce, your boldness. Let's have your verdict.
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, you seem to be in quite a hurry to rush the verdict. But about this oxygen tank data you submitted just now, it says that Mr. Starbuck's tank had 80% remaining while Mr. Terran's had 0. Do you stand by the accuracy of this report?
Of course.
Then I guess it simply means that it's faulty, as evidence goes.
You will explain what you mean, Justice Dono.
It's simple. This evidence contradicts the facts of this case. Take a look here at the detailed description and you'll see what I mean.
I hope you have some evidence, Mr. Justice, because I don't see what's so contradictory.
Yes, Your Honor, right away. This is the evidence that the oxygen tank report stands in contradiction to. This shows 50, makes no sense.
Take that!
And how does this evidence present a contradiction?
The problem is this part here. They really gotta make you think for it, huh?
Take that!
Note the remaining oxygen in Mr. Starbuck's tank as he carries Mr. Terran.
It appears to say 50.
Yes, but according to the data, our client's tank had 80% remaining.
The oxygen in the tank increased.
I see Your Honor finds it as strange as I do. It's bad enough that there is a contradiction, but the increase in oxygen is beyond illogical.
Oh my, you're absolutely right. What is going on here?
Silence!
I too find it odd that the oxygen remaining has increased. It would be as odd as if my rations were to increase. But what does that prove? It doesn't change the fact that it is the defendant carrying the victim's corpse.
Objection!
I'm going to bet you don't get more rations because you don't abide by the rules. Either way, the oxygen remaining shouldn't increase just as your rations don't increase. Therefore, this new information is critical. We can't overlook it.
Silence!
In that case, do you have an answer to this riddle of the mysteriously increasing oxygen? You'd better not disappoint, or I'll declare the inconsistency as mere equipment malfunction.
Prosecutor Blackwell has a point. I suppose it could be a simple malfunction. Mr. Justice, if you cannot provide an adequate counter-argument at this point, I'm afraid I must bring this trial to an end. So, do you think you can explain why the remaining oxygen level increased?
Of course I can. The thing to do at a time like this is turn my thinking around. Mr. Starbuck has no memory of it, but he claims to have carried Clay. So this man with the 50 on his tank ought to be Mr. Starbuck. But if anything, the display on his oxygen tank should have shown as 80. This is a clear contradiction between the report and the security footage. So what I should be asking is not, why did the oxygen level increase? But what had to have happened to make it look like it increased? Someone came by and refilled it. Am I making some kind of mistake in my base assumptions here?
Well, Mr. Justice, we're waiting.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm ready to answer. This is why the remaining oxygen appears to have increased. They were going the other way? That's patently absurd in every regard. What? The victim was carrying the defendant, The tanks are damaged. Well, in the previous video I absolutely said, hey, we have no real way to know who is who here. It could be either man. So, suppose this is true, and that would mean that it's Terran Clay, Clay Terran, who's shouldering Starbuck here. Terran's air canister was found with 0% air after it got ruptured. We don't know for sure when, where, and why the air tank ruptured. Now the thing is that bothers me, Starbuck remembers carrying the capsule under one hand. Well, then again, he also remembers carrying Terran down the ladder, so frankly, his memory is suspect. I don't think we can rely on his word at all in how we figure this. Yeah, I think this has to be it. The victim is carrying the defendant. I don't see any other way out of this. What if it was the other way around?
The other way around? Would you care to explain, Mr. Justice?
As you can see, Your Honor, both men had their helmets on in this footage. But it turns out this is where our base assumptions went astray. We assumed that it was Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Terran, but it was the other way around. It wasn't Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Terran at all. It was Mr. Terran who was helping Mr. Starbuck to the boarding lounge.
What? Order! Order! Mr. Justice, you mean to tell me that the person on the right in this image is the victim, Clay Terran?
It's the only way the riddle of the increasing oxygen level can be solved, Your Honor. At this point in time, the remaining oxygen in the victim's tank was at 50%. And when the victim was found in the boarding lounge, his tank was at 0%. That's right. There's nothing contradictory about the oxygen level decreasing. This means Mr. Terran was alive as they made their escape to the lounge.
Silence!
How short your memory is. Have you forgotten what you yourself proposed? Even if the victim was alive at this point in time. How did he descend the ladder with his arms full?
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackquill, you can't hurt me with a broken blade.
Excuse me?
It's true that we don't know how they got down the ladder. I suppose that matter needs further investigating. But we have proven that Mr. Terran was alive when he reached the boarding lounge. This fact alone shatters your claims, and opens up the possibility that the victim could have been killed by a third party.
Grrr!
There were two people who claimed to be the first on the scene, but can we truly trust their statements? Let's see. The two people were Detective Candace Arm and Yuri Cosmos, right? You think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police? Yes, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little more digging.
It seems we'll have to hear the testimony of these first two people on the scene.
Score.
Come to think of it, Detective Arm should be here in court right now. Bailiff, could you please show Detective Arm to the stand?
The hour draws nigh. Hi, Ted. Oh, what the hell voice did I give him? Oh, right, he speaks with a robot, right. I have an announcement, everyone.
What's the meaning of this? We're in the middle of a trial here.
But please remain calm and listen carefully. Someone has reactivated the bomb. The bomb was defused, but it's about to explode.
Load?
A bomb? Now? Everybody run! Eek, I don't want to die. Oh no, everybody's panicking. Couldn't, maybe jostle the crowd a bit? Or, no? Okay.
Silence!
Headless chickens with a death wish, the lot of you. Calm yourselves off or all else.
Come on, Apollo, let's get out of here. But what about Mr. Starbuck's dream? And who will carry out Clay's final wish? I don't care what happens to me. I'm not letting some bomb blow the truth up forever. I refuse to let things end here. Apollo, this is no time to be dramatic. If we don't get out of here now, we're gonna die. Come on, oh my god, I just remembered. In the intro cinematic, the anime scene, at the very start of this game, Apollo was looking up at the moon. This is why. Oh, those sneaky bastards. Come on, this way. Hey, ouch, let me go. Junie. Apollo. Juniper? She hasn't evacuated yet? Eek! Juniper, are you alright? Apollo, no! Not that way! Ah! Oh my. To be continued. Right now, because we still got 13 minutes left. In the middle of the Space Center bombing trial, we had another bombing incident. This one destroyed courtroom number 4. Furthermore, Apollo suffered massive injuries from being there when the bomb went off. Unfortunately, Juniper Woods was fingered as the courtroom bomber. Athena and I knew she had to be innocent, so we took her case on. We managed to clear Miss Woods' name. But Apollo sustained further injuries when he was attacked by Ted Tonate. Wait, am I dumb? I remember that scene. We looked at that in evidence in the first case. He had the eye bandage on while he was unconscious and fresh from the explosion, and I never noticed. Oh my god, alright. I should have known from the start that he had the bandage on before it all began. Well... Wow. Look how long it's taken, but we finally caught up. We're in the present. No more flashbacks. No more in-betweens. We're here. The story is moving forward. Well, I mean, not to say that everything up until now has been a filler. No, the characterization and the world building has been important and all that, but you know what I mean. Apollo is a tough guy, but this is taking its toll on him. Yeah, poor guy, being attacked by Tonate like that on top of all his other injuries. Apollo is resting at the nearby Hickfield Clinic. I've had some experience with that place myself. What an awful turn of events. I never thought he'd land in a hospital of all places. You must miss him too, huh? Now that you don't have anybody to tease. Don't worry, he's young. He'll heal quickly and be back before you know it. You know, I still don't know whether or not Trucy and Apollo know that they're siblings. Phoenix knows, but has he told them? It's been a while since I last saw Trucy look so down. We won the court case, yet nobody feels much like celebrating. Sniffle. Alright, enough of this, people! This is no time to be moping around. Now dry those eyes, both of you! You're the only one who's crying, Athena. Technicalities! Look, we have work to do. We have to take over. Take over what, exactly? Apollo Space Center case, of course. As no verdict's been reached, there's still a chance. I agree with Athena. We should pick up Mr. Starbuck's defense. We have to avenge our fallen comrade. Right, Daddy? Apollo hasn't exactly fallen. He's still alive, you know. Good. Now that's settled. Let's get going. Come on, we gotta run. Wait, right now? We better not be running the whole way. There she goes. I'd better go catch up. Can you take care of the office, Trucy? Sure thing, Daddy. Let's be careful out there. In the meantime, I'm going to bake some cookies and fill up my... Shut it! Trucy seems to be feeling a little better. I can always count on Athena to perk everybody up with her enthusiasm. Oh, she's back! Don't mind me, just forgot a few things. Wallet, phone, the documents, my bag. Sounds more like you forgot everything. I can always count on Athena for that too. Alright, you two, let's be careful out there. Heck yeah! Bring it on! I wish I paid more closer attention to the dates. I could figure out when exactly this takes place in relation to the day of the bombing and all that. So our client is one Solomon Starbuck. He's so famous, even I've heard of him. That's right. He's a super famous astronaut who works at the Cosmos Space Center. He was actually up in outer space 7 years ago. You seem to know quite a bit about him. I'm all excited to meet the man. Wow, that was the longest sigh I've ever heard. Apollo told me all about you. You're Phoenix, right? Apollo's mentor, right? Yes, that's right. Huh, mentor has a nice ring to it. Don't worry about a thing, Mr. Starbuck. Mr. Wright and I have got you covered. And you're the new kid that Apollo told me about. Wait, don't I know you from somewhere? Huh? You mean other than at your trial? I don't think so. I guess so. My mistake. That... Okay, something's going on there. I'm just gonna stow this away for later. My memory isn't what it used to be. My mind and body are kaput. Same goes for my life. I mean, I'm so astronomically unlucky that I had a bomb go off in the middle of my trial. Trying to defend me would be like trying to enter the stratosphere without a spacecraft. Yikes. He's seriously got to stop depressing himself. Cheer up, Mr. Starbuck. Besides, that thing you said about entering the stratosphere, that just means we'd shine like shooting stars, right? Like shooting stars, huh? You know, you're right. Why didn't I think of that? After all, that's what we were all put on this earth to do, right? To shine like stars. Guess I shouldn't mention the fact that shooting stars burn out in a flash. Oh yeah, here we go. 3, 2, 1. To the stratosphere and beyond! Yeah, I feel alive now. You can go ahead and ask me anything you want. Is that really all it takes? Well, I suppose so. This is a perfect place to end things, of course, so... Yeah, that ended like I thought it would be. Boy, for a second there, I thought it would actually end with the judge just about to hand down a guilty verdict, Apollo losing completely, and being saved by the explosion, and Ted Tonate's machinations. But no, it was actually left at an impasse, and the judge now has cause to want to hear testimony from 2 people. Well, one's deceased, and unless we get a Fey person on the job, that's not likely, so... Mr. Yuri Cosmos. That is a name to remember. I bet Cosmos has a weird design, actually. Now that I call him Cosmos instead of, like, his full name, just Cosmos, the mental image that appeared in my head, like, the king of all cosmos from Katamari Damacy. Oh my god. Great game, by the way. Oh, now I kind of want to re-listen to that soundtrack. Yeah. What are we talking about? Right, Yeah, this is an interesting case. I am very much a fan of what's going on here. I am very, very intrigued. You know... Would it be too early to say? I know we have one more case to go, but I think Dual Destinies here has my favorite roster of locations. So we began in a bombed courtroom. Like, holy crap. It felt so dire and intriguing right out the gate. Then we had a yokai mountain with a haunted mansion with ventilations that were crawled through, and a secret hidden chamber. Well, not really hidden, but a sealed chamber and all that. Then we had the aquarium, which was just visual eye candy, and the logistics of the 2 tanks and everything was great. And then we had a law school with students, and the zipline pulley between the upper floor and the stage, and the technological impressiveness of it all. Oh, it's like cool. And now we have a space center where they launch rockets. I think it's safe to say that for all the criticism that may be thrown at this game, I think Dual Destinies has S-tier locations. Yeah. I'm excited to see what the final case is going to be about, actually. Everything so far has been really good in terms of location, so what could possibly be the final case in this game? I don't know. Huh. Another thing I want to talk about, actually, is that... So, coming into this one, I'm relatively hot off the heels of the 2 great Ace Attorney games. No spoilers, but there were 2 games, but it pretty much told one story. It was meant to be played back-to-back. It was one cohesive story. Everything in the second game pulled from the events of the first, the characters, returning characters. It was very important. There was an overarching plot, a very overarching mystery, lots of plot threads running through the whole thing, and it culminated all in one place at the end. With this game, I'm not really detecting any hint of that. Don't get me wrong, the steadily building relationship between Apollo, Athena, and Phoenix is great and all, but it feels like with the death of Clay Terran, who is revealed to be Apollo's best friend, it feels like only now is the hint of an overarching story beginning. The game's first case ended with Apollo going his own way, which I think may not have happened yet, because it sounds like he's still in hospital. I'm not sure where that's going, but maybe that scene with Apollo leaving is gonna be the end of this case here. Okay, my head's swimming, but I feel like there's a beginning of a potential for the 5th case to be like, yeah, no, we've been building up to something all along, and once you see our hand, you'll realize we were pulling the strings the whole time. There's potential, but no matter what happens, I'll be pretty satisfied. I'm really liking Dual Destinies. Unless the 5th case is god-awful, I'm probably gonna remember this game pretty dang fondly, so... Yeah, alright, now I'm really done. I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been more Dual Destinies. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.